Okay, I'm back once again. Here we go. And in honor of who I have on today, joining me is Brian Fatello, one of our senior account managers here at Sales and Orders. And Brian specializes in the auto parts industry, which is great. I can't wait to talk to you about some of that, Brian. But
I do.
in honor of you, I'm wearing my Avengers shirt.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. Of course.
I couldn't. A couple of us in the office are comic book nerds. Brian, myself, Keith included. So, every once in a while we have some sidebar chats all about, the Marvel universe, the DC
Yep.
universe. So, Brian, man, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing well. I'm hunkered down over here.
Yeah, yeah. How's everything
Yeah.
going? What earlier you said that fam's good. I'm glad to hear that everybody's healthy and safe. Obviously.
Yep. Everybody's healthy, only going out when we need to. Nothing too crazy. It's getting a little boring, but we're living here. It's great to be able to work from home and keep everything going.
And I see you're rocking the stash. I'm
I
liking
am.
it. I'm liking it. That's
like it?
I'm like trying something out, try something new, right?
Yeah. I figured it was now or never, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like nobody's here. Like, well, let's try something different. Yeah, I'm trying I'm gonna try something new with my beard. I'm gonna let Jen shave my head, so that's gonna be a little weird.
Oh, great. Yeah, I can't
we
wait to
don't
see
know.
that.
Not straight ball, but pretty close.
Okay.
Buzz cut.
Okay.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, Brian, seeing as you specialize in the auto parts industry mostly, and you work with a lot of those merchants, I definitely wanted to get a little perspective from you on what you've seen in that industry. I know we're starting to come out of this, which is great. I'm hearing great things. I'm hearing from, I'm hearing from our partners whose wives or husbands are nurses, or nurse directors or work in administration in hospitals. We're flattening the curve. This all sounds wonderful and great, but retailers are still kind of feeling it. We saw that dip, but now with everything starting to creep back up. What have you been seeing in the past? What you're seeing now, and maybe kind of what you feel like might be pertinent for them to start focusing on moving forward as we get out of this?
Yeah. In the auto parts industry, I would say now is the time that things start increasing in general, but I was curious to see what was going to happen with everything going on with COVID. Within the past 3 weeks, what we've been seeing is traffic increasing.
Yeah.
That was straight done just by more searches. It wasn't based on any increases we made. In the auto part industry, we just saw an increase in the last 3 weeks, and we have seen sales follow. So a lot of those accounts are doing really well, and I would like to attribute that to people being home. They're searching more. I think the high time of the period actually started a little bit earlier this year.
Wow. Yeah, I think all in all, people are stuck at home, and maybe all they have to do is work on their cars. I mean, or their motorcycles or whatever, any kind of vehicle necessarily. I remember Jen and I we were walking with the kids, and I saw a bunch of guys outside, and they were all hanging out there with their bikes, and they were all talking about they were talking, oh, I just put this on, I just fixed this, I just
Absolutely.
replaced this part, and first of all, I wanted to yell and be like, guys, you're not practicing social distancing. This was very early on, though, so I guess that wasn't really part of it necessarily, or wasn't as emphasized as it is now. But yeah, I mean, people have a lot of time in their hands, so they're going to work on their cars, right?
Absolutely. One of the things I would recommend right now for anybody who does have who is in auto parts and they are running on Google Shopping is just log on, look for that trend, see if it's going on with you guys. And if it is, I would say this is the time to be more aggressive. Increase the bids, find the areas you can increase, whether that would be on, maybe on a specific device that's doing better than others, or maybe specific products that are doing better than others, but find the areas to start increasing and get more traffic. I think this is the time to do it.
What's that device segmentation game looking like for this industry? I mean, I know, some industries, the shift from all this have created is kind of a shift to like a mobile first strategy in a way, and that more people are actually converting on mobile more so than just window shopping or the attribution model between going on a mobile device and then finishing their purchase on a desktop. Like, have you been seeing a similar trend?
Yeah, absolutely. We see a lot of searches on mobile. In the past, we've seen a lot of searches on mobile, and then we've been able to figure out that they'll convert later on desktop, which is a trend that I feel like we're seeing less of this year. I think now people are actually purchasing more on mobile. It could be attributed to people purchasing while they were at work, but now that they have their phones, they can scroll at home and purchase like that. And I think that's a trend that I'm starting to see right now also.
Awesome.
I'll probably give it a couple more weeks, but that is something we're seeing, more conversions on mobile.
Yeah, sure, of course. Now, I've kind of seen it on my end, and just with a few accounts that I've seen here and there. But Facebook and Instagram, at least, especially retargeting, seems to be a huge, huge powerhouse, a winner for the auto parts industry.
Yes. If you're on auto parts, absolutely do Facebook remarketing. It works. It does really well usually. You'll see you normally get a high return out of it. It's worth a shot for sure.
Yeah, I was seeing like even at times like a 20 times return on ad spend.
Definitely. And that goes for motorcycles or cars. Both do very well.
Sure, of course, of course. Hey, Brian, have you what you been doing to pass the time over there? You been watching any good movies? Anything you recommend?
Let's see. I would recommend.
Before I'm going to stop you for just a second. Now, I've tortured Brian for a couple years now, in that his library of movie knowledge is not up to my standard.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know.
Well, I've teased you a little bit because I'm like, well, you got to watch this, and he was like, nah, I haven't. Don't know. Well, I do.
I'll throw one out there that you and I can both agree on. Okay.
Okay.
I hope you've seen it. Interstellar.
Well, yeah, of course. In fact, I've rewatched Interstellar. I don't know how many times.
Of course.
So like, I can't actually watch it anymore, I think.
Yep, that's one we can agree on. If anybody's watching and has not seen that movie, get over there, get into your living room, and put that baby on.
For sure. I even saw that J.J. Abrams might be producing the Justice League Dark series for HBO Max.
Too.
Like, this is wow. For anybody else who's a comic book nerd out there, I've been for so many years at this point, so I don't know how you feel about that.
If you could see my walls behind the camera right now, there's a couple of DC superhero posters.
You don't want to show us?
I could show you.
Hey, there we go.
All right.
Nice. Hey, there we go. Some Arrow, Flash. Hey, see, now you've proven yourself.
Those are handmade on Adobe Illustrator.
You did that?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Now you have to make me some.
You got it, man. Anytime.
By the way, if everybody like that, coming out in the next couple weeks is the Brian and Tony store. Brian's going to do all the work, and I'm just going to get free stuff, but that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. That works, man. That's what being a team is about, right?
Exactly. Now, like I know that you, and especially you and a few other people on the staff, like you guys really, on this customer success team, there's a tremendous amount of camaraderie. There's like just these deep-seated connections. I know somebody I had spoken with Keith, and he said, what he was so surprised about was the deep, granular friendships that we developed by being such a people-driven, people-first, and like such a close family-knit style company. Have you been is there anything like you could say to like anybody who's working from home or going through all this, like how do you keep up with that? Are there certain things that you're doing, like obviously trying to stay connected with everybody in a way?
Yeah. Look, I mean, we have FaceTime these days. We have our Slack messaging, text messages. Right. I jump into FaceTimes with my team all the time, with my client services team. Herman and I will talk couple times a week. We all jump on Zoom conferences too. We'll have our own happy hours.
Hey.
Also, we've eaten lunch together. Usually Fridays, we'll do a happy hour or something like that, and get together. Everybody, our whole entire team just talks and just has fun. We
That's
don't
awesome.
Even talk about work. We have a good time.
That's awesome, and that's such a testament to our culture. And I think that's what we've kind of been trying to build for so long now. Is true people that. To connect people and businesses together and just to help people grow regardless of where they are, whether it's us, our partners, our customers. I mean, you name it. It's just what it is.
Of course, I think it's so important. And I tell people, in our company all the time that I don't think there's one person in sales and orders out of the amount of people we have that I couldn't hang out with for a day and have a great time.
I mean, forget about it. That
There you go.
that is beautiful. I
Yeah.
love hearing this kind of stuff. Fantastic. So is this your home office
This is my home office right here.
slash bedroom?
Slash bedroom. Yep. I'm
Hey,
living in an
we work with
apartment.
what we got, right?
Exactly. I got my own. I got another big screen here I work off of. So I have my own desk, and it works out.
So obviously you were able to make the shift pretty easily, or at least it wasn't too much of a. And I know everybody in the company, we're all pretty good at working from home. We have that open environment and that flexibility to do so, like when we need to, or even when we want to. You know me. I
Sure.
primarily work from home now. In my exciting kitchen
Yeah.
office
That's great.
combo. Yeah, no, like that. We got some stuff. Our Microsoft partner team sent out some cool swag.
Oh,
When
awesome.
everything's back to normal, we're gonna, we're gonna start. Everybody's gonna start to be able to take a grab bag. Some cool growlers and things like that would be,
Cool.
uh, you know, just kind of showing it's here. We have it. Oh, and by the way, Brian, I had an extra Jedi challenges.
I do see
That's
that.
going to somebody. I know you have your eye on it. It's going to
I'll take it.
somebody.
I saw
Yeah,
it the
okay,
second
all
you moved
right.
your chair.
Ryan, first on the list to request the Jedi challenges. Yeah, so I mean, I'm excited to get back into the office. I'm sure you are, but
Yeah, of
it
course.
just is what it is. We're going through this all. Um, there's good and bad, and there's light and dark throughout all of this. We're starting to see that positive trend again. The curve is flattening. Hospitals are seeing fewer people sick, or at least more people getting out of the hospital. I know Nikki just posted yesterday, the day before, that 1,000 patients left North Shore Lij out in New Hyde Park, which is, again, we're in New York. We're an epicenter for coronavirus at this point. But right on Long Island, right out on the border of, again, basically in the border of Nassau County and Queens, we have New Hyde Park, and 1,000 people got out of the hospital in one day, and that's some
Yeah,
extremely positive news to be hearing about.
absolutely.
Have you had any? What kind of have you been any interesting personal? I mean, I know I go to the supermarket now, and I'm least on a line, and I'm going to share a picture of this, but a couple pictures of the lines that form it trying to go buy some groceries.
Yeah,
It's been a little nutty, and it's getting worse. And that's on that side of it. It's
for sure.
important. It's trying to create some safety. You're trying to walk down a specific aisle, but there's a sign on the ground, don't go this way.
Yep. I try to not go out as much as possible, but when I do have to go to the grocery store, I put on a mask. If I have gloves, I'll throw them on. It hasn't been too bad for me. I go to a grocery store that not many people go to, so I
Okay.
like that. A little
That's
bit
good.
more expensive, but I'll take that.
Like you're like local, that place that isn't normally it's not a conglomerate or like a major brand that you would normally go
Exactly.
to. Yeah,
Exactly.
that makes a lot of sense. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what I've been trying to do. And then we've made an effort. It's like I'm the one that goes out. So I go out, my wife and my kids, they stay in. I go out, I do the shopping. They've been saying now there's really no point to wear gloves necessarily. I mean, it's just as important. You should continue to wear a mask, but the gloves aren't necessarily going to protect you as much, because you touch stuff and then you're just going to touch other stuff, and then you're going to touch
Yeah.
the stuff in your car.
I guess it's the same thing. I guess that makes sense. You're right.
And
Yeah.
so we're adapting, we're making it through, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Has there been anything so I know you don't just work in auto parts, getting back to business, right? Really. You don't necessarily work just with auto parts. Have you seen any other industries, or any trends that you're noticing that are outside of the auto parts industry that I know you specialize obviously in that industry, but anything you've noticed, or interesting things that maybe I haven't even gotten to see or hear about yet?
When I said earlier that 3 weeks ago we started seeing a lot of auto parts increasing. I've been seeing the same trend on a lot of different consumer products.
Yeah.
I haven't really put together which ones or any trends onto what's doing better than others.
Yeah.
We've seen some business to businesses decrease, but there's other ones. A lot of consumer products I've been seeing that traffic, all about the same day. Traffic just started increasing. In a lot of those, the revenue increased as well with it, and others, the revenue did not increase with it. I guess I'm still trying to figure out which of these, which products are doing better than others and
Yeah.
gaining this traffic. Obviously vitamins and healthcare and that industry, but there's others as well. And I think I just attribute that to people being home now and they don't really have much else to do but search online.
Yeah, it's hard to generalize. You know, the home and
It
garden
is.
industry, for example, is one that I saw. As much as people can't get out, they can still go into the backyards, or they can, they can go, they can start working on, some of to, kind of beautifying their home a little bit more home repair projects and things like that. I'm seeing a lot of like parts for like appliances go up because
Oh yeah,
people are now overused. Like my dishwasher, for example, just fell apart. And of
absolutely.
course, I went to go find the parts for it, and they're sold out. Of
Yep.
course they are. So, and hopefully, they come back in stock soon. But it's really hard, and of course, we have to kind of aggregate and generalize this data over time, and we've seen the peaks in certain industries. Um, but I agree that it's probably going to take us a little bit more time to really kind of figure out what, and it might be until all of this is over with and done, that we actually can look back at the historical data and say, well, these industries did experience this, and the other industries necessarily, there is some slight, like, of course, type of, as you said, health and medical in certain areas, or vitamins and supplements, I would assume. Um, but it's certainly very interesting to see what at the end of all this, what we're actually going to wind up
Yeah.
being able to go back and look at, right?
Yep. I mean, it's only been a month right now. So it's hard to put everything together just yet, but I am very curious to see what it's going to look like.
Isn't that weird how it's only been a month? And it's crazy because we closed the office. This is the 5th week. I think this is like this week
Yep.
marks the 5th week that we've shut down the office. In fact, now our building, the complex management team where our whole HQ is based, like they no longer are allowing anybody to enter the building
Yeah.
unless you have official business being there. So like, and again, it just keeps evolving, keep changing, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, it really is. It's nuts.
But
Hopefully we'll make it.
yeah,
We'll get back
we're
to
gonna
normal.
get there.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure. So do you have any advice for anybody like working from home, doing with this right now? Any kind of, I gotta ask this of a few people here and there, and everybody has a different like mantra or mentality, or maybe like a unique thing that they do to break things up a bit during the day, or even just like types of ways that you feel like you can better deal with time management and task management. Anything that you could potentially share.
I mean, for me, the biggest thing is I just have to stay active. I can't, sit in here and just not do anything. I'm lucky enough to live in an area that's not too populated, so I have the time to go out. I take a run around the block, something like that. I get creative with in-home workouts, things like that. And I just try to stay active, keep myself in shape, and keep my mind healthy.
Any fitness tips?
Get creative. There's so many things you can do in your house. Just find things and use them to work out. I was using water jugs to do curls.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. So
Then you're like really thirsty. You start drinking it, so you start like lowering your weight, so you can you vary it.
exactly.
Maybe
Exactly.
one arm's heavier because you want to build like more like raw muscle, and this one's lean muscle.
Yeah, exactly. You got to drink this one, but then you got to drink this one next to keep them
Right,
equal.
right.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm gonna get some water jugs. I mean,
Yeah, it works.
I might start curling wine bottles at this point, but
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
the reality of it.
In a while, I'm going to start small.
Hey, you got to do something, right? Try to break it all
Yeah,
up, right?
of course.
Well, Brian, I've had a great time. I think you've shared some incredible insight. I mean, Brian here specializes in the auto parts industry. So anybody out there that if you're a retailer or even a marketer in the space that's dealing with this right now, it's a hot industry. It's an industry that's doing incredibly well across the board on multiple channels. This includes Microsoft ads and Bing, right? I mean, we've seen tremendous gains across the board for that channel. Especially for the auto parts industry, always consistently was, but now it's obviously, I think, with the times and all, it's improving and getting better. Brian, thank you for joining me.
Of course, anytime.
I'm sure everybody's going to love this one. I'm really excited to keep this going, and we'll have to talk again soon. I'm thinking hopefully maybe we can get a couple different people together on the next one. Just get a conversation going on with like 3 or 4 of our account specialists maybe.
Yeah, I think that sounds awesome.
Awesome. Great. Okay. All right, everybody. Well, you know what? If you have any questions, if you ever need any help or anything, obviously you can reach out to our team. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Stay tuned for more, because I'm definitely gonna get Brian on again at some point, because he's gonna be collecting all this data. He's gonna be aggregating it. He's not gonna work on some reports or some infographics maybe after this is all said and done, and then we sharing that publicly out with everybody. All right, Brian, you have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Obviously, if you need anything, you call me.
Of course, you too.
You Slack me, whatever you need to do. Right,
Okay.
and keep on trucking along.
All right. Thank you, Tony.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Bye.